Welcome back. My name is Katie, Crafty Peacock Stitchery, and it is January 5th, 2020. It's the new year. I meant to make a video before the new year started, and obviously I didn't. So now I'm going to tell you about New Year's plans after the new year started. It's okay. It's totally fine. Y'all are still watching New Year plans videos. Because I am too, you know, that's how that works. However, I have notes today, you guys. I have like a whole planner with notes. I'm so excited. I'm hoping this really actually helps keep me on track because I get off track. But planner is actually one thing I wanted to talk about. I love the whole planner thing that has happened in the cross stitch community recently, thanks to Jen Lee, Quirks and Stitches. She's come out with that, sorry guys, 24 hours of cross stitch planner that she has put out for sale for those of us that wanted to get a jump start on that. And it's just made the whole cross stitch planner thing explode, which I think is great because I love planners. And of course I hopped right in on that. I have never made my own planner before, put one together. I've always just got, the spiral bound planners that you get, whatever. That's always what I've used. And I've never used a cross stitch planner until 2019. It never occurred to me to use one. And so that was what I used, was a spiral bound. And then this year, Jen put out that planner and she said, oh, and I've used the disc bound system from Staples. And I'm like, the what? That's what this is. It is so cool. It's got little hearts. I love the hearts. So it's like the best of both worlds between a spiral bound planner and a ring binder, because I can take the pages out if I need to, and they go back in easy like a ring bound. But I can do this. This is a requirement for me for a planner. I have to have this because I don't like writing on this side of the page with this side hanging out. So that's my thing. I also made dividers myself. This is just scrapbook paper with that clear vinyl sticky on both sides. So, and then I just got some stick-on tabs. And they're all a little bit different. I like this one a lot. It's my Flosstube. I had a whole thing for Flosstube. I think this one's my favorite though. Look at that. Look at that tile pattern. And obviously this is for my sals. I keep track of all my sals because I have a feeling that I'm going to be getting into a lot of those this year. Sneaking suspicion. So anyway, that's my planner, or at least a quick overview. I am going to do a more in-depth video regarding this planner, and I may just film that after I get through filming this one. So maybe I should really do that because I'm back here. I've got my phone set up on my tripod, and oh yeah, I got a tripod. I finally invested in one of those, which is why you can see all of this. You can't see all of my tapestry, but isn't it great? I know you can't even see it. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll scoot the camera around one day so you can see it. Anyway. But I'm going to be filming kind of like a flip through of what I've got going on with my planner because I enjoy watching those kinds of videos and that I assume other people enjoy it as well. So I will do that. In other news, as far as sales go, I know I've said in the past that I don't like joining challenge groups, but I found one that I think is going to work for me. And if any of you guys are like me and the challenge groups don't really jive with you, like the idea of someone saying, you have to work on this, makes you not want to work on it. That's how I am. You might want to give this one a check out because I think it's gonna be pretty good. It's called the Mythological Stitchers Challenge Group, or just Mythological Stitchers Challenge. But basically what it's going to be is they give themes, for lack of a better word, for the month or for a couple of weeks or whatever. And it's based on either myths or certain creatures. Like I think January, they're saying it's the Sekhmet challenge. So Sekhmet is a Egyptian god, an Egyptian god. So they give like a brief overview of what Sekhmet is all about, and they recommend 1,500 stitches, but you don't have to do that. You can do whatever you want, but it's basically link it to Sekhmet. Kind of like the 24 hours of cross stitch. Link it however you want. They're not going to be judging. There are no like teams to enter. There's no point system. It's just they give you a theme and you stitch, and you can put your progress up on the group and see everyone else's progress. And that's really all it is. And that's kind of what I like. I kind of like the idea of a theme, but I don't feel like I'm losing out on something if I don't do it. Yeah. I seem to be a minority in this. Hi, Winry. I've got the door closed. And she doesn't like closed doors. So, Happy New Year, everybody. Let's get to the stitching part. So, I have had a couple of starts since the last time I did a video. I've had a few. And this is both a start and a whip, so I'm just gonna jump right in. This was a gift from my cousin, because she's awesome. She went to my husband and said I don't know what she said, but she asked him for ideas, I guess, and he gave her my 1, 2, 3 stitch wish list. He's great and she's great. So she got me, I should get the pattern out, the Peacock Keeper by Lindy Stitches. I opened this up and my face apparently just lit up like a Christmas tree because, yeah, I was so excited. I love everything about this. Everything. So this was my Christmas Eve start. I started this on the 24th. And this is where I'm at. Yay! I've made really good progress on this considering I haven't been working on it terribly long, but the pattern goes so quick, especially the border. That I can get like a little bit of the rhythm down and then I can just go. I don't have to refer back to the pattern a whole lot. I'm trying to get that color right. It's washing out. That's closer. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty close. It's very blue. It is a very blue color. But I love this pink in the heart. So pretty. I tell y'all, Stephanie picks some good colors. She knows how to pick her some colors. So that's a lot of fun. Thanks, Charlie. I now know that she watches my videos. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Bees! This is a new bag that I made, and I love it. Check out the interior. More bees. And a damask. Oh, that looks great. I love everything about this bag. And I made this bag because I'm going to be doing the bee sow with Carla Being Crafty in February. And I needed a bee bag to go with my bee pattern. Because that's how that works. Next up is Self-Medicate. Still trucking along on this one. That's the pattern. And this one, I'm a little bit frustrated with because I don't know, I lost my little piece of paper that I use. Hold please. Okay. This one. So, this dark green that's on the words and in the dark green of the house is Balsam Fir by Classic Colorworks. And the pattern doesn't tell you that you need 2 skeins, but you do. I ran out, and I never messed up to the point that like I was wasting any thread, everything. Like this is an entire skein of Classic Colorworks in that dark green. So I kind of got a little frustrated with it because of that, and I haven't worked on any of the other colors until I get the next skein of Balsam Fir. I have placed an order with 123 Stitch, and there is a skein in the order. They have not shipped it yet because it is New Year's and everybody is ordering stuff. I assume that's why it's not shipped, because they're overloaded. So I'm patiently waiting for them to get me that before I keep going. But I love the blue on the roof of that house. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, I think that's my favorite color in this entire thing. I am looking forward to getting back to it though. It just annoys me that I can't do the dark green, so I don't want to work on it. Because that makes sense. That makes complete sense. I should not cover up my planner. Okay. This one was another new start. This was my New Year new start. And I've been putting this one off because the fabric scared me. And I'm glad I started it. This is Point of Origin by Sweet Birdie Co. on Etsy. And this is a big pattern. It's 254 by 254. And on a 32 or a 36, it was just going to be bigger than I really wanted it to be. So I bought this fabric, which I showed in a earlier video. It is 40 count Gothic by Picture This Plus. And I mean, if I get right up here, you can see like the fabric is very tight. It's very tight. It is really hard to see what's what in this fabric. But I wanted to do this so bad because I think it's so pretty and it's gonna look so great. So I did it. I started it on New Year's Day. And it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It is definitely somewhat challenging, and I'm wondering if the challenge is just because of the color of the fabric. On the 123 Stitch order that I mentioned, I have 2 patterns coming, as well as the fabric for those patterns, and I got 40 count fabric for both of them, but they're lighter fabrics, so they're like more neutral. So I'm gonna see if the difficulty I'm having with this one, the challenge that I'm experiencing, translates to the lighter fabrics too. But oh, I love it so much. Look at those tiny little stitches. And this is 1 thread, 1/2. And can you see the sparkle? It's hard to get the sparkle to show up on camera, That kind of shows it, yeah. The natural light helps. But yeah, that's pretty accurate on the color, I think. It came a little bit lighter than I was expecting, but I do like it, which being lighter than I was expecting may be a good thing, considering I need a bright light to work on this. But I think this is going to look so great when it's done, and considering I only have been working on this for 5 days, I think I've made a good bit of progress. And my husband is excited because he thinks this is just fabulous. He loves this fabric. This is the only fabric that I've ever bought that as soon as he saw it, he went, ooh. So he's excited for this one to be done too. And last but not least, I have made a fair bit of progress on this one. This is Exploding Tardis by Cat's Cross Stitchery on Etsy. And this one is on 18 count Aida. It's in my elephant bag. Let me get the thread out of the way. Okay, here we are. I want to say last time I showed this, I was still at least one column over, and I was like right around here. So I've done like that much. No, maybe I was down. I think I showed, I used this in my Stitch With Me that I did, and I was down in this corner, I believe. So, yeah. The more I do on this, the more I love it. I'm so in love with this piece. Look at the back. Yeah. I keep my needle in the back, obviously. Ta-da! And that's it for my whips. I haven't worked on too many since my last video, so that's good, right? Means I'm making progress on stuff. That's always a good thing. Let's see what I got to say about next that I have written down in my handy dandy planner. Haul. So I don't have a whole lot, or any really, because I haven't made any purchases other than 1, 2, 3 Stitch, which I can't show because I don't have it yet. So that'll be next video. But I do have one thing that I did buy, and it was the ornament that's the Stitchy Noel ornament that 4Boys and an NL girl did. I'll put a picture of it right here just in case you haven't seen it. But I feel like everybody stitched it. And I did buy it. I thought it was beautiful and I wanted it, but I haven't gotten around to doing it yet. I'll do it for next year. I do have a couple of shout outs. The first one is, and I hope I say this right, Rocio? Did I say that right? I think I did. Correct me if I did not. Her Instagram, well, yeah, Instagram and Flosstube is Cocohama Stitchery, and she lives in the Bahamas, which is kind of cool. You don't really see much. I think she did do actually a day in the life in the Bahamas video, but I haven't watched it yet, so I need to go and watch that because I think I would be quite interested. But she's got a lot of really great stuff. Her Santa that she's doing is really pretty, and she likes mirabilias. So she does mirabilias, and you should go check her out because she's great. Another one is Jennifer, Calculated Stitcher. She is a teacher, so you get to hear little bits about her students, not like anything identifiable, but just little stories and anecdotes sometimes, and she's really sweet. And the last one is Beth with Busy Bee Stitches. and she is a nerd like me, or a dork or a geek, whatever word you want to call it. We all self-identify as something. But she's pretty great. She's got some really great stitching, and she is also incredibly sweet. So go check her out. All three of those are going to be linked down below. Finishes. So a while back, I mentioned that I have a secret project that I could not show because I wasn't sure if the recipient watched my videos. As it turns out, she does. And I'm very glad I didn't risk it because she would have instantly known that this was for her. Instantly, like no question in her mind. So now, it was a Christmas present. I gave it to her at Christmas. And I'm going to show a quick video of a close-up of the night that I got it fully finished and done and ready to be wrapped. So I'm going to insert that here. Okay, so it is Wednesday night, December the 18th. It is about 7 o'clock at night. Just got home and finished up this. Ah, oh my god, it's done. It's finally done. I made a wall hanging. I love it. I love it. Okay, let me see if I can get some close-up shots for you guys. "99 bottles of beer on the wall, 99 bottles of beer." Just keeps going. And there's just some yarn. Oh, I cannot wait to give this to Charlie. Oh, I think she'll like it. Yeah, she and her boyfriend are coming to stay with us Saturday night, so this needed to be done and wrapped before then. And we're trying to get the rest of the house in order, so I need to get this out of the way. But it is done, finally. Let me show you the back. I did some good finishing, I think. I mean, this is, considering this is like the first thing I've ever finished that's not in a frame, I think I did a pretty good job. I'll kind of show you what I did. So I folded over the ends, folded them over again, cut out the backing piece to fit underneath, and then I used a invisible like binding stitch, like what you use to bind a quilt, up the sides so it wouldn't show through on the front. And then this down here I just hand stitched up over the scrolls. I just love it so much. It's almost gonna be hard to part with it, but like I don't like beer. I don't drink beer. So, and my cousin does. So this is her thing, not mine. But I wanted to stitch it so bad because it looked like so much fun. And I was like, who can I stitch beer for? My cousin. So that's what I did. But yeah, my arm's getting tired, and now I need to go clean my craft room because it's a wreck, and this is where they'll be sleeping. So I'm gonna let you guys go, and I will get back to, or send you back to the rest of the episode. Flosstube. Pretty great, right? It's awesome. I love it so much. It almost hurt to give it away, but giving it to her, I was totally fine with. And she loved it. I did film her opening the gift at Christmas Eve. My family all gets together on Christmas Eve, and all the extended family, and we do our gift exchange then. And I did get her permission to put this up, so I'm going to insert the video of her opening it here.
What's Charlie got?
Something that Katie's filming. It must be good. We're not gonna miss a moment. Move back up.
Meanwhile, Ellie's making off with bowls.
Oh, they're colorful, aren't they, girl?
Lots of paper. I'm about to fuss at you, Sandwich.
Oh, that's cool.
That is so cool! Oh my god! Is that 100 balls?
That is
99.
That is amazing.
Perfect spot in my house for this.
Katie, that took forever.
So Katie also,
That's cross stitch, yeah.
Just a year.
Katie
Did you
also,
say a year?
Less, but yeah. I started it earlier, like in April maybe.
Yes.
I love watching that video. It makes me so happy inside. I'm so glad she liked it. Charlie, I'm so glad you liked it. And she has already sent me a photo of where they hung it, like instantly as soon as they got home. I had a photo of where they hung it. And I loved that one. I loved it so much. That was 99 by Ink Circles. It is a very fun pattern to do. I started it in April of 2019. I finished it in October, I think. I want to say I finished it in October. It may have been November, but I think it was October. And then of course it sat because I had never done anything but a frame finish, and I didn't want to do a frame finish for this one because Charlie lives in Texas and I live in Tennessee, which means for Christmas she flies, and I didn't want to give her a framed piece to take back through the airport and potentially break. I wanted to give her something that would be easier to fit into the suitcase and that wouldn't have the risk of damage. And I also considered giving it to her unfinished and offering to have it framed by someone local, but that didn't feel right either because I wanted to give her a finished piece that she could take and hang up on the wall. And not all framers are good with cross stitch. Back to life, right guys? So I didn't want to risk that. I wanted to be in control of the finishing process. So that scroll is what I came up with. That is the first non-frame finish I have ever done, and I loved it. That was actually like a precursor to another one that I'm doing. I'm going to finish my Harry Potter sampler the same way. And I had planned that from the time that I got the Harry Potter sampler. So now I've kind of gotten a smaller one under my belt, and I can do the same on a larger scale once that one is done. So that's exciting. And now I want to work on Harry Potter. That's how that goes. Let's see. Oh, I completely forgot to mention this because I didn't refer to my planner. So this one, Lindy Stitches, Peacock Keeper. I'm actually doing a sale on this one. Myself and Link is my homeboy on Instagram and here on Flosstube we are selling this one together. When I posted this one on Instagram with the start, she said, "Oh, I've got that one. We should do a sale." And I'm like, yes, we should. We absolutely should. So she said Disco Turkey, which I had never heard before, and I love it. So this is Disco Turkey Xmas Sal. So if you're working on this, hashtag Disco Turkey Xmas Sal and work on it with us. That's great. Can't believe I forgot to mention that. I just love it so much. Okay, so I'm all over the place here, guys. I really need to like make sections pre-done and stick to the order of events because this is really haphazard. This is the first time I've done this, and I clearly need to work on it a little bit. So, okay. So one more gift that I received for Christmas. Another cross-stitch gift. Indian Peacock by Dimensions. I love this so much. Every time I see it online, I am just drooling over it. I think it's beautiful. My parents got me this one. All the threads and fabric. I haven't decided if I want to keep the fabric because it's 14 count. I don't love 14 count. I may swap that out. I wouldn't be opposed to doing it on Ada. I would just prefer it to be 16 or 18 because there's no beads to mess up. So we'll see. We'll see about that. But I am very excited to start that, and I don't know when I will, because I already have 2 other peacock pieces that I'm working on, so I may have to just wait until I finish one of those before I do another one. Or I could just have 3 peacock pieces going. That works too. So, I do have a couple of plans for 2020. A few things that I know I'm going to be doing. The first one is a sal that Erin, 2 Martini Stitcher, and Jennifer Stitching in the Bluegrass are putting on, and it's this. I'm going to put up an image of it right here. This pattern is called And a Forest Grew, and I think it's beautiful, and I'd never seen it before. It's Rosewood Manor. Of course it is. Like, it just looks like Rosewood Manor, doesn't it? I think it does. So they're doing that, and I think they're starting it on Arbor Day, which is in April. So I'm gonna be starting that when that sale starts up. That's one of the patterns that I got at 123 Stitch. Mythological Stitchers, I've already done that, and I've already shown you my New Year, New Start. I wrote that down when I assumed that I would be making this video before New Year, and I didn't. So we can just skip right by that one. Right. So I'm about to talk about non-cross stitch related things, New Year's resolution type things. If that's not something that you want to stick around for, totally fine. I'll see you in my next video. Love you guys. Adios. As far as New Year's goes, what are y'all's New Year's resolutions, if you make them, or if you don't make them? Do you have any plans? I like hearing about New Year's resolutions. That's always fun. I don't normally make New Year's resolutions, but I did this year because I'm getting a little bit older, my metabolism is starting to slow down, and I need to exercise. My parents very graciously gifted me with an Apple Watch for Christmas. I was shocked and blown away, and I love it. Obviously, I'm wearing it. I've worn it every day since. And of course, it's got the activity tracker, and I am a very goal-oriented person, and I like closing the activity rings, which means I need to exercise. So that's what I've been doing. As of December 31st, I started doing yoga again. I started doing yoga years ago. I want to say in high school. Mom, did I start in high school? I don't really remember. I don't know. I can't remember exactly when. But I know I did in college, all the way through college. No, I started in college because I remember the first time I did it, because the next day I was sore from the neck all the way down to my feet. The only parts of me that were not sore were my head, my hands, and my feet. Every other muscle in my body ached like it was on fire. And that hasn't happened since. But that took about 3 days to fade. And that was the moment that I knew that I was working muscles that needed to be worked. So, and I fell in love with yoga despite the pain. And like I said, it has not hurt me like that ever since. But I do love it. It is relaxing. It helps with any anxiety I may feel, any stress. I feel stronger. So, and I miss the strength that I had when I was at my peak. And it's so interesting now, like I went through it all through college, and, you know, I dropped off. And I had various reasons that I told myself why I wasn't doing it. Mostly because I didn't have a good space for it. I didn't have the money to go to a class, and or the money to spare. Like, I had money, obviously, but I would rather spend them on other things. And that was the truth of it. I told myself I didn't have the money to go to class, but I could have if I had made it a priority. And I also didn't want to, like, impose on my roommates, even though I know they wouldn't have cared. They would have probably went out and got yoga mats and done it with me. But I would have had to do it in the main living space of our apartment, and I was self-conscious and I didn't want to do that. So, and I had inconsistent schedules. I was working a retail job and my schedule was all over the place, and they were excuses. It was all excuses. The real reason I didn't do it was lack of self-discipline. And that is the hard truth of it. So now, that was in my early 20s, and now I'm in my early 30s, and it just kind of occurred to me late last year in December that the reasons that I gave myself for not doing yoga in the past no longer applied. I work an 8 to 5. I have a home that I share with one other person, and a craft room that I have all to myself. I can do whatever I want in here, and there's plenty of space for a yoga mat. There's this big open space. There's plenty of room. And I now have self-discipline. I have the self-discipline that I was lacking in my early 20s. So here I am. I decided I'm going to start up again. And I've done it every day since December 31st. That was the first time I did it. I haven't done it yet today, but I will be shortly this evening. And I can already see improvements. As I've gotten older, like starting around my mid-20s, I've been waking up with back pain in my lower back. And that has already started to fade. I think I was a little bit stiff this morning, but no pain. And that's pretty great. As far as only having done 5 sessions and already seeing that kind of improvement. And, you know, it's so interesting because I remember doing some of these. I would have considered myself to be a lower level intermediate by the time I actually dropped off. And my body remembers how to do this. It remembers these poses, but it can't do them. It just can't. Like, it cannot stretch that far. I have lost my flexibility, and I've lost my strength. I no longer have the upper body strength that I used to have, so I'm looking forward to getting that back and improving my posture, because I do tend to slouch, so I need to work on that. So now that I've rambled about non-cross-stitch related stuff for I don't even know how long, I didn't even look at the clock, and I think that's it. That's all I have got for you guys today. It's all I can remember anyway. If I come up with anything else, I'll write it down in my next Flosstube planning spread, and I'll share it with you next time. But until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day and rest of your week and however long until the next video I put up. And in honor of my new yoga life, Namaste.